If the cost of a Neuralink implant reaches hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can restore lost functions like vision and memory, is it worth it? Elon's confirmed that Neuralink implant patients possess abilities that are almost superhuman, and these abilities will increasingly surpass what us normal humans can achieve. The first and second patient are living proof of what Elon's promised. Neuralink is not just a chip that stores memories, but it also opens up a future where humans can go further in their efforts to keep up with AI. So, what special abilities do the first two Neuralink patients possess? And why is Neuralink considered the most feasible memory preserving technology out there today? 1. Neuralink first patient update. Ever since Neuralink got approval for human trials, a lot of people have gone against it, worried about implanting an untested chip in someone's brain. If something goes wrong, it wouldn't just be monkeys dying, it'd be a person. And that means Neuralink and Elon would face some serious consequences. But honestly, things aren't as extreme as we might think. Neuralink's actually done way better than expected with the first two patients, helping them regain abilities and even achieve things they couldn't do before. Nolan Arbaugh, age 29, who received Neuralink's brain chip to help restore functions after a diving accident, recently revealed that he named the implant chip in his brain Eve. In the first few weeks after surgery, Nolan was able to control a cursor with his thoughts, play chess, games, browse the webs, and even post on X with Neuralink's incredible support. But Neuralink.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to apostles of the GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing his truth and sincerity. And this is another Neuralink video. I think this might have been the third one I've ever found. But this is to really show how much they're really trying to push for this. Because I believe they're going to try to push this Neuralink thing first and before, just to make it seem cool and comfortable before bringing out the MTOB, or they just might make the two together. Who knows? But even people in comments boards are like, which some of them is against it, but a lot of them in this comment board is actually all for it because they make it seem beneficial or cool, and that's the problem. That's that catch 22. That's how people get caught up, because they get caught up in the fad and not realizing that this is just another way to enslave you, just like they do with entertainment or your phones, TVs, games, you name it. Of course, we use it just to pretty much use it as a little getaway, but you got people that's really dependent on it. Like, I have people I knew back then that I still talk to. They all they talk about is pretty much what's going on the TV, what they watching, and all this other stuff. They basically depend on it. And these people don't understand what's going to happen. So I'm gonna play a little bit more and then we get straight to the scripture. Actually, I'm gonna fast forward it to the part I wanted to see the most. I think this is it.
Chip has been continuously improved over several generations. For the first patient, the N1 chip had a total of 64 threads with 16 electrodes on each one. By the time they moved to the second patient, the chip was upgraded to have more threads, up to 28 this time, but with only 8 electrodes a thread. This change allows the chip to access more areas of the brain and provide better stability, reducing the risk of retraction issues that occurred with the first version. To implant these chips into the brain, Neuralink surgeons first must make an incision about 5.8 millimeters deep on the top of the head and peel it back, kind of like lifting the head of a Tesla EV. Underneath the skin is the skull, where they create a round hole about 1 inch in diameter. Remove that section of the skull, open the durometer, and then expose the brain for the Neuralink R1 surgical robot. This is where the robot comes into play, as the surgeons cannot intervene. From the targeted positions, Neuralink's specialized robot precisely inserts tiny electrodes, about the size of red blood cells, into the surface of the cortex at depths ranging from 3 to 8 millimeters. The robot's also highly skilled at avoiding all blood vessels on the surface, minimizing damage and inflammation, so the patient experiences minimal pain throughout the procedure. After the robot implants all threads on the chip, the surgeons will place the implant into the skull opening, secure it into place, and then stitch up the skin. The entire process takes a few hours. Once they receive the Neuralink chip, all Neuralink patients also have to participate in research sessions lasting up to 8 hours a day under the supervision of Neuralink experts and doctors.
And so there you have it. So like I mentioned, they're going to make it seem like cool and feasible. They're going to make it seem safe and all this other stuff. And of course, they're gonna make it seem like, okay, we have a nice little procedure to do it without it really harming you. But the whole time it's meant to harm you. So even when the MTOB comes out, they'll make it look even simpler when they just have someone just insert it into you with a needle, or however which way they want to do it. So, and considering how pissed off people are these days, they'll do anything to pretty much get this place back, and I say this in quotations, in order. When the people of this society don't even know what order is. All they know is chaos and basically doing whatever wicked things they want to do, which is their form of order. But it's just all madness. You see what it is out here. But we see how these things correlate. So just like even with the last video I did showing off the robots or the androids, how they'll make them seem more normal and stuff, you can see that all this stuff that's happening now is basically going to be a technological society, which we are already in, but let's put it in a larger scale. Especially when World War III happens, it's going to be a tech war or a technology war, as I should say. You're still going to have people over there still dying, right? Regardless, you're going to have people over here dying because guess what? All these things they're building is being controlled by the higher ups. So it's like replacing some of the things with their own methods, and they'll make everybody seem like it's cool and all this other stuff when in reality it's not. So this is Micah 6:12. It says, "For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth." And these are the lies they constantly tell us and all this other stuff, especially with presidents and all sorts of stuff. Your schools, even the stuff that you're listening to now is deceitful when they talk about making this more beneficial or this really cool, and people fall for the hook, line, and sinker. And see, this is how they get caught up. So Esau uses that craftiness of how people's mindset work and slowly eases things in. This is why he's always looking for more ways to pretty much put down the population, because that's part of the agenda, and tell the lies to the slaves because these slaves need that good morale. So you tell the slave that, hey, you take this little device inside your body, and it will take away all your pain, so you could get back to working like you want to. So you don't have to miss any days off with because you're in pain and you can't make money. Yes, believe people want to take that money because guess what? I'm sorry, people want to take that device because guess what? It's able to make them money now because they get to go back to their daily scheduled lives. This is the mindset of the slaves that don't understand it. They need to be the same people that's talking about we don't trust the government and all this other stuff. But what do? They'll trust everything about this. Which goes to show you that Esau has the grip of the minds of these people out here. He just knows how to finesse them. And he's been constantly finessing them even now. Nothing's changed. Just because we're starting to come up doesn't change anything. He's still finessing the hell out of people, including our people primarily. We're the biggest problem. That's why he wants us pretty much out of the picture. But if he can get these good born slaves here to keep working under him and keep them from waking up, why not? Appease these people and give them that device so they can watch that football. That's what they're going to take, right? So this is Isaiah 5:11. It says, "Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue unto night, till wine inflame them." And that's basically going to these people that's all about encouraging or bringing this place back to this quote unquote former glory, when it was never any glory in this place. It was glory for Esau, but this is our torment and our hell. But these people, our people, want to pretty much be like Esau, pretty much being like drunkards, and even quite literally, but even these drug users, and they're aligned to the philosophies of this place. Just even the regular people, you can have the healthiest Jake, but mentally and spiritually, his mind he's still filthy. Why? Because he still drinks the wine in this place. A good upstanding citizen makes a great slave in his work environment. A jailhouse slave makes a good slave in his production department, whether it's in jail or in the construction field. It does not matter. So this is the outcome. A bunch of zombies loving and following after something that broke them. See, the physical slavery may have quote unquote went away, but the mental slavery is still the same as the physical. All you get now is just benefits for being a good slave, being more comfortable, and that's the problem. So this is another way to try to make people comfortable. So when the MTOB comes out, these people are really screwed. And the promises that Esau tells has been nothing but smoke and mirrors, and these people gladly follow it. So this is pretty much showing like the signs of being more aware, or for people that's not in the know to be aware of these things, so you don't get caught up into loving the technology of Esau to be taken by itself. Because best believe it's going to bite you. It's going to bite you pretty hard when you take it. You see, you imagine 10 years ago hearing something about this, about a device being stuck in your head to where you could control things. People wouldn't trust that. It'd be too soon. So that's why it slowly implements these things, and that's what we gotta be aware of. So that's all I wanted to go into with that. So this was a little edifying, and with that, shalom.